Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here again. It is Wednesday, my friends, and so happy Wednesday, middle of the week, and we got something kind of special. So, yesterday, while we were doing some tryouts for the Omni Hero Fusions, I did want to announce yesterday that we were going to do this today. We are going to be doing a viewer submission from an anonymous duelist, mostly because they don't want you guys to sort of like make fun of them for submitting a casual list, meaning that they did not follow the ban list. However, they are asking for me to go ahead and modify this so that they can take this to their locals and start playing this in more competitive formats. So let's leave the judgment outside for today, and then tomorrow you guys can tell me whether or not I did it okay to bring this into the ban list. So first and foremost, one of the cards that would violate is I'm just going to attack. This is on the 3-ofs list, and I think there's like 7 cards for the 3-ofs list when all is said and done for this build. So again, we will trim this all down. This is probably one of my favorite skills too. Get 100 every bane phase to one of your monsters, but more importantly, during the battle phase, when the opponent activates a trap card, you're allowed to negate it and reset it, allowing yourself through 1 trap per battle round. So, easy peasy. Next card, and this is their focal point for their entire deck, and I think that this is kind of crazy cool, and this is one of the reasons I definitely agreed to help make this one better, was 3 copies of the Spider Jirai Gumo. We got this during GX2, the midterms box. And this is from the Paradox Brothers. So when this card declares an attack, toss a coin, and if you call it right, nothing happens. If you call it wrong, you lose half your hit points. So your first attack may cost you 2,000 hit points. Let's say you guys don't have a coin. Grab your die. Evens or odds is the same thing. There's still 3 and 3. It's 50-50 chance. So you just go like evens. Anyway, that rolled to a 5. So I guess I would have lost half my hit points there. But it is able to overpower just about everything in the game that's early, including Cyber Dragon. So keep that in mind. There's like a little give and take with this card, and playing aggressively might get you where you want to go. 2 copies, Banisher of Radiance. The reason that they're using this is obviously any card sent to the graveyard, it becomes banished instead. So anything like a Dark Fusion, Dark Calling, you're going to get off 1, but you won't get off both. I do believe that this helps against Crystal Beasts as well, since when they get destroyed, they would technically go to the graveyard first and then decide about whether or not they're going to go to the back row. So I do think this will prevent a lot of plays on that front as well. So again, really strong card. Next up, Black Brachios, which is kind of cool because this is almost part of like a 1-2 thing, and you'll see here in a minute. Black Brachios, when normal summoned, targets a monster on the field, change it to face-up defense. Again, so if your opponent has a face-down defense card, you can flip it, we can reveal it, we can force the activation of the effect. Some things like Apprentice Magician just lose the ability to give somebody a spell counter, especially if their breaker already still has one. Plus, he's like a healthy dinosaur. He's at like 1800. They did make a note for me that they were really on the fence about continuing on with this card. But overall, it's actually pretty cool. Plus, when you decide on other cards like Banisher Radiance happening to be on the opponent's side, it might be better to put that thing in defense mode so one of your weaker monsters can clear it, so the Brachio can go ahead and get for the direct attack. Next up, 2 copies Cyber Dragon. I just went Dark Art because I'm feeling it today. And obviously, this right here, between the Cyber Dragons and the I'm just going to attack, would be our 3-ups. And so from like here on out, you guys are going to see how this deck kind of like abuses the ban list and just totally folds into the casual form. Which is fine, because we're going to bring it up to date tomorrow. And again, Cyber Dragon, obvious play, beats out things like Breaker, beats out things like just about everything. Plus allows you to set up if you wanted to tribute on the first turn. We have Droroids, which pair off well with the Brachio. These, before damage calculation, if they attack the defense position monster, they'll destroy that monster card. So if you already had a Droroid out, and then, of course, you summon your Brachio. You can move their big monster to defense mode, and Droroid can off it. And this still saves Brachio's attack for later. One of our tribute monsters in the deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Jinzo, because he does appear to pop up enough in a 20-card build. He is going to stop the traps. And they were playing Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight. And the reason for this is, if this is the only card in your hand, you can normal summon this without a tribute. So the later into the game that you get, you might be able to set all of your spells and or traps real quick. Summon out, your Cyber Dragon, play out the rest of your cards, and suddenly you have no more cards. So again, it's just a tasty little 2300 that you can normal summon without the tributes. So it is something to keep your eye on. I don't think it's that huge of a tech. I do think I would have preferred to put Charging Gaia in this spot, just so that I could normal summon it at a 19 if I wanted to. But it is what it is, right? Moving on to their spells, 3 Books of Moon, and now we're already at 6 3-ofs. But again, between the abilities of like the monsters that can move things, wanting to keep your Banisher of Radiance alive, maybe they did play something that could out the Jirai Gumo, or you're just trying to fuel up your Droroids. Perfect card, perfect play. Next up, they do run a Night Beam for the back row. They're going to violate the heck out of the 1-ofs because they are running 3 Offerings to the Doomed. That'll bring us up to 4. But again, I get it. Plus, what's happening here, by giving up the draw phase, you are in fact giving more power and more ability to being able to play that Swift Gaia by limiting the cards in your hand while getting an effect for it. So it's not exactly Geki Break the way I would like, but I get it. It works. It's fine. And 1 copy of Dust Tornado rounds out our main deck. Now, I was also told that they would love to have switched out a Night Beam for a Dust Tornado, but they kind of keep the Dust Tornado in because of their opponent's breakers, their Cosmic Cyclones, their own Night Beams, stuff like that. It makes them really think that they were going to get something like an Offerings and board it off. But again, I love how just about everything here is chainable at almost any time. So, from my experience, really cool card, really great tech, really good so far. Give us a second. Go ahead and make your snapshots or pause and take your notes, and I'll be right back with the rest of their deck. Just one moment. All right, I'm back. So their extra deck is essentially my extra deck, which I thought was kind of cool. It's a nice little homage. But again, it pairs off some of the strongest cards in the game while giving you a wide range of effects that will, of course, do everything you need depending on the moment Waking the Dragon gets hit. So again, these are played through a card in the side deck, which we're about to get to, but this allows you, like I said, the most options in the game right now. So moving into their side deck, they did keep their 3rd copy of Cyber Dragon in here. Again, that's probably not going to fly once we start playing. They did want to keep a Defusion in here, which I think is actually kind of spicy because, again, if I'm facing a card that's been played through Waking the Dragon, we can still break that card. The only difference is, because it was played through Waking the Dragon, chances are the opponent does not have the materials in the discard pile. So you actually do just dissipate a fusion monster card. And that's like some top tier, next level, big brain stuff right there. And it does make things easier for you. So yeah, Defusion all the way. They were running a single copy of Shield Crush, and I get it. Once you have a large monster, they're going to place things in defense mode. If you play the Brachio, you either flipped something face up from face down defense, or you moved something from face up defense, allowing you to get into the Shield Crush. And so again, if you already have a big play where you did something with a Book of Moon, you summon that, you move another one, and you already had Droroid on field too. This allows you to clear both and go for Brachio to opponent's hit point pool. So again, pretty smart, loving it. Next up, a single copy of Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell. So what this tells me is their local meta is players playing a lot of the same spell repetitively throughout the game. And what this does is when a spell is activated, discard 1 spell card from your own hand, negate the opponent's activation, destroy the card. And if you do, the opponent may no longer activate cards with the same name for the remainder of the duel. So again, a player who plays 3 Books of Moon gets 1 Book of Moon, it fails, and the other 2 are dead draws. So, I get it. Good card. Mind Crush, that's enough said. You guys know what that does. And of course, the 1 Waking the Dragon, because otherwise, The extra deck is entirely a bluff, but this will allow you to special summon any one of those monsters. Also, anybody from your main deck too. And with this deck, sometimes I guess playing the Jinzo is actually the best move, because if your opponent is playing an all traps deck and they decide to destroy your back row, and it was Waking the Dragon, you could totally not affect the rest of their build by just simply putting Jinzo on the field. So pretty cool. This has loads of growth potential, which is one of the reasons why I chose to do this today and show you guys the before and tomorrow the after. A long time ago, I wanted to do this thing called Deck Garage. It reminded me of something I seen on, I think it was like Pojo's website or something. And it's what it was. It was people who were having problems winning in locals and stuff. Were like, how can I get this to be, 2 steps faster? Or how can I play this a little more, coherently? And this deck has all of the hallmarks for being able to do that. And I'd love to do that, and I'd love to have that up for you guys by tomorrow. And then later on in this week, we're probably going to take an off day somewhere. And we're going to fill out the rest of the week with some tryouts. I do have some other submissions, and I'd like to get those, deck listed and shown on the channel for you guys as well. So again, if you guys have a list that you guys would like to show us, send it to my email, casualduelist78@gmail.com. The link is found on the home portion of my profile, the About Me portion of the channel. Again, maybe you guys want to help support the channel because you like it. So easy ways to do that are to like, comment, and subscribe. They have the biggest impact because it helps more duelists like you find us. Additionally, you might want to provide ideas. Comment section is always a great idea, a great place for that to happen. You may also want to help us buy more sleeves, at which point I'll leave the Buy Me a Coffee link down in the description. But just remember, that's always optional. That's never necessary. The only thing I require is that y'all go out there and you try to have a great day, because if you don't try, it's not going to happen. And I really want you guys to have a great day. So you guys go do that. Go watch something else. Go watch funny cat videos or something. It's YouTube. Like, the world is your oyster when you're here. But until next time, peace. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later.